I've been thinking a lot this week, reflecting on the last 45 years of my life. And on a particular day in May of 1974, I was almost 15 years old. I had been raised in church. My parents divorced when I was 11, and that left me with a sense that my world had fallen apart. Now, I don't blame either one of my parents for the way I felt. It was just a byproduct of a broken family. But as I came into my teen years, I was a very moody, brooding, and angry young man. Didn't have a lot of friends. Was lonely. At high school, one Friday afternoon, we had an assembly. Everyone came to the gym, and the principal of the school introduced a young Baptist evangelist by the name of Barry Westbrook. Barry told his story and invited everyone to join him in revival at a small Baptist church in Baxley, Georgia, Bible Baptist Church. For some reason, I determined that I wanted to go to the revival. So on Saturday night of that week, I went to Bible Baptist Church. I don't really remember a lot of what was said that night. I do remember that the moment that they gave the altar call, I found myself walking forward, and I knelt at the altar at that little Baptist church and gave my heart to Jesus Christ. It was the most profound, life-changing moment in my life. John 10:10 says, "The thief comes not but to kill, steal, and destroy, but that I have come that you might have life and have it abundantly." I can tell you that Jesus Christ has utterly transformed my life. I've tried to think of where I might be at this point in my life if I had not become a Christian. As a teenager, I had already been smoking marijuana and began drinking. There's no doubt in my mind that Jesus changed my life and gave me a direction that saved me from a life of alcoholism and possibly drug addiction. No doubt in my mind about that. That was the direction I was headed. I know for certain that without Jesus, I would not have the family that I have now, my wife and my wonderful sons and grandchildren. I look at their lives and I see how God has blessed their lives, and I know that they would not have the lives they have now if it were not for the fact that in May of 1974, I gave my life to Jesus. Giving my life to Jesus made me a new person. In fact, when I went back to school, I received, after a few weeks, I received a call to go to the guidance counselor's office. So I walked into the guidance counselor's office and sat down, and he introduced himself. I had never met him. His name was Mr. Porter. And he said, "Dan," he said, "many of your teachers have noticed a change in you over the last few weeks and suggested that I needed to talk with you to find out what has changed in your life." And I smiled and looked at him and said, "I got saved." It may seem naive to unbelievers. And as I look back over the last 45 years, again, nothing has made a greater difference in my life than the presence of Jesus. The people of the church, the people that came around me to encourage me, to teach me and train me, even as a teenager. The folks at Bible Baptist Church with Pastor Randy Guyton, where I attended for several months after I got saved. Then I began attending Gospel Baptist Temple in Claxton, Georgia, where Barry Westbrook was pastoring. I would ride from Baxley to Claxton each Sunday with a friend named Mike Cruz. Mike does not probably know how much of an encouragement he was to me in those early days. He introduced me to contemporary Christian music, to Andre Crouch and the Disciples. He introduced me to Josh McDowell and to the New American Standard Bible. And I can say that Mike was one of the most profound influences in those first few months. After several months, almost a year attending the two Baptist churches, I returned to the church of my childhood, the Baxley Church of God. There I found family and friends, particularly my cousins Gary and Mickey Tomberlin, who were always so encouraging. I found a pastor there, Walt Langdon, who became a spiritual father. So many people there. Bill and Joyce Tomberlin, my cousins. Addie Mae Moody, again, my cousin. Youth pastors, so many people. Then after I left the church to go to Bible college, again, finding a new community of people who would support my early Christian growth at East Coast Bible College. Sammy Oxendine, George Voris, Ken Bell, Bobby Gilly, Tom Wilson, Andy Blackman. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the people who poured into my life and helped guide me for those first few years. I was once a young man, and now I'm old. I can tell you that following this path has been rewarding and enriching. I thank God for the good news of Jesus Christ.